Okay, I'm here with Michelle Mangini, lead designer of California Closets here in Latham, New York. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
How long have you been with the company?
So I will be with California Closets for 10 years this coming June.
Wow.
So, long time.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your background and why you got into this industry?
Absolutely. So I went to school for interior design. I went to Casanova College, which is no longer anymore, but so I went for interior design and I practiced after I graduated. I did some commercial design stuff. So I was doing like office design and that was really great. And then I have two small kids. So, well, I say they're small, but they're a little bit getting older now. But after I had my second, I was looking for something that was a little bit more flexible, not necessarily like going to an office every day. So I kind of stumbled upon a job listing for a designer for California Closets, and it just seemed to work out, and I love it. It's like a really great fit for me and for my family life. So, So
very nice.
Yeah.
And I understand California Closets has been around for about 50 years, and they're in other countries as well.
Yeah.
What is your service area, and do you get to travel for work?
Yeah, so we are a locally owned franchise. So Sean and Joy Rafferty own this franchise out of Albany. They also own the Syracuse location. So our territory goes down to Ulster County, all the way up to Canada, and I mean not into Canada, but up to the border, and then out through the Syracuse area as well. We have 4 designers out in Syracuse. There are 7 designers, I believe, here in the Albany area, and yes, we do travel pretty much that whole territory based on our appointments. We actually go into Vermont even a little bit. So, I'm on the road most days, actually, which is fun.
It keeps things exciting, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Very cool. And do you mind just kind of taking me through a day for you of what that looks like?
Yeah, so, as far as like how appointments and stuff are made, generally we have, as a designer, I have an availability that I set, and then we can make our own appointments if I have clients that are, reaching out to me to set up appointments, or our showroom here in Latham, if people call in, they'll set up appointments for us. So generally I might have an appointment or 2 appointments a day, and I will, we call them an initial consultation or a follow-up appointment. So if I have an initial consultation, I'll be going to somebody's home, and I will be meeting with somebody in their home and looking at their space, whether it be a closet or a pantry or a mudroom, and I'll measure, or maybe it's multiple spaces too. So I'll measure with them, and I can even design with them at their home on my computer. I have specialty software where I can design up a space and show it to them. I can price it for them.
I love that. So how detailed can you get? If somebody really wants to be hands-on and pick everything, do you go through it with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I have like my sample box, and we have an iPad that has a lot of images and shows some of our accessories and different, just like different things that we can do in a space, like layout wise and stuff like that. So, when I do it on my computer in front of them, they're usually involved with it, and we kind of design together so that they're feeling like they have some ownership of their space. It's a space that they'll be using. So generally people like to be involved. Some people are like, I have no idea, like you're the expert, you tell me. And, and then I kind of take over driving and really kind of tell them, what will work for the space. So that's kind of like a general consultation appointment. And then sometimes we meet here in our showroom to go over designs. And when they come in here, there's like, we have, you can kind of see behind me here, but we have lots of samples and hardware and finishes that, they can choose from and play with. So
I love all of the options. And we were kind of taking a look around before we sat down. And do you want to kind of touch on the price range and
Yeah, so it really can range quite a bit. from like a basic reaching closet can really start at around, $1,100, $1,200, depending on what's included in the space or how big it is. And then up to a big giant walk-in closet can go, upwards of $20,000 or $30,000, depending on, what they want to put into it. But we really can range anywhere in between there. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you can really do any space in a home.
Yeah.
So that includes a garage if, you want to customize a garage space, a mudroom. You mentioned just a pantry, really anything.
Yeah.
So
built-in bookcases, office spaces. I mean, really, California Closets in general is kind of talking a lot about this whole home idea where we can really be in any space of the home. Anything that you can kind of think of that's custom storage or organization, we can really help with that.
That's great.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we were also talking about, landlords or commercial developers who, may have a lot of apartments that they want to do. They can also call you for that as well, right?
Yeah, we've been working on a few commercial projects in the area where we have done some basic closet setups for apartments and up to some more customized spaces. So it is a great thing to have in an apartment space as well.
And if someone was, building a new construction home or just wanting to renovate a home that they already have, where would you say that they kind of start with you in that process? When should they call you?
I mean, we really like to start as early as possible because, if there's electrical or certain things that need to be included into the space, then, we're ahead of the game by, kind of being able to lay that out for them. But really at any stage, it's okay. But, obviously the earlier the better. So we can just work off of plans if that's what, somebody has to begin with. And we can lay out a space and go from there. So, yeah, there's really no perfect time, but the earlier the better.
I love that all of the employees are actually employees and you don't subcontract anyone out. So I would assume that helps with customer satisfaction. And can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we do have all our own installers. Most of them have been with us for many years, installing California Closets all day, every day. And we also have a shop in Albany where we cut, produce, and manufacture a lot of our, most of our jobs. So once a job is sold, it is completely start to finish kind of done in our shop and manufactured there and then goes right through the shop and then right to a install process, and then our installers install it. So it is it's a nice process to have it all in-house.
You can kind of ensure that quality assurance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I like to go back to jobs too, during install and after install to kind of see how things are going and make sure that the customer is happy with the outcome. And generally they are, but there's always things that come up, so we take care of that.
Great. And is there a guarantee or a warranty that's included?
Yep. Everything comes with a limited lifetime warranty. So generally I like to tell people, if anything comes up, give us a call and we will send somebody out to service it or replace it if that's what needs to happen. So, yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. So you had mentioned that you have 2 little ones that aren't so little.
Yeah.
Maybe. How do you kind of balance that work-life balance of being a mom, a wife, I'm sure a cool friend, and other things, and still being a successful businesswoman? How do you do that?
So, I mean, really it's just managing your time, I mean, I do set my own availability, so I can kind of manage when I'm available to take appointments, and I can also set up my follow-ups with my clients, which I like to be flexible for them, what works in their schedule, but that helps, but I just like to stay really organized. I use a lot of lists, and I, just manage my time well with my, kids and my business life. So,
nice.
Yeah, this job really allows for me to do that really well, which is nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you have any kind of fun trivia or something that people may not know about yourself or about California Closets just from kind of looking at the website if they don't know anything else?
I guess the biggest thing that surprises people is that because our name is California Closets, I think people sometimes are surprised that we can do so many other spaces. So a lot of times I will have clients who will call about a closet and maybe they'll come in or learn about more spaces when we're in their home. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you could do this, or, you could do the pantry, or you could do my laundry room. So I think people really are surprised that it's not just closets, that we are in, more spaces of the home. So I guess
it
that's
seems
probably...
like really every room you can kind of do something if somebody wanted.
Yeah.
Because even a bedroom, I saw you have a fold-out bed.
Yeah, the wall beds, yep.
Yeah, that's great because you could fit that anywhere. I mean, that one looks like a twin size.
Yep.
Which I instantly thought of a client of mine for a tiny home that she's having built. So.
Yeah, and also I think since COVID, since a lot of people started working at home, they were turning spaces into multi-use spaces. So what might have been previously just a guest room now needed to be an office space and a guest room. So we did have an influx of customers calling us wanting to do like an office space with a wall bed kind of tied in. So we've done a lot of that, and people are generally really happy with that. So it works out.
That's great. You work with what they have and in their budget, it sounds like.
Absolutely,
too, so.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great. What is the time frame it takes from design to install?
So right now, our lead time is somewhere between 9 weeks and 12 weeks, depending on how big of a job it is. So about 9 weeks, and we can, generally install most spaces within one day. If it's a much larger space or a whole house, we might need a day or two to install it. But so.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do people ever, say if they're selling their home, do they ever take the closets with them?
Not really. It's usually pretty custom to the home itself. So I find it to be, we like to talk to customers about that it's maybe helps them sell their home. It's a, added value into their home. So every once in a while I get somebody who might want to take like a built out, wardrobe or something, but generally it should stay in the home that it was originally designed for. It's just better to not move it around too much.
That makes sense. And can be a selling point.
Yeah,
certainly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So. Yeah. A lot of clients do ask about that, and being that it is a well-known name brand, I think, maybe you would know better too as a real estate person, to know that having that in your description of the home might help, having it say that the home has California Closets. So
yeah, certainly. Yeah. Anything custom really kind of has that added value as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk all things custom closets.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.